Mr. Piper's Bus by Eleanor Clymer. We are now on Chapter 2. Mr. Piper gets an idea. That evening, as Mr. Piper sat in front of his television set, he was so worried that he hardly saw the picture. But suddenly on the screen, he noticed something. There was a picture of a farm. The farmer was going to the barn. A dog and a cat were following him. Chickens were pecking in the yard. "That's it!" he exclaimed. "I'll take you all to a farm. I'll be lonesome, but that can't be helped. Maybe I'll get used to it." The next day he went over to his boss. "I must have a week's vacation," he said. "But you just had a vacation," his boss reminded him. "I'm sorry," said Mr. Piper. "This is very important. I've got to have another." "You can't take one vacation right after another," the boss told him. "This is an emergency," Mr. Piper exclaimed. "If you don't let me go, I will just have to leave." "Is this a family matter?" the boss asked. "Well, yes, it is," Mr. Piper answered. "Well, all right," said the boss. "I suppose it can't be helped. We'll make an exception in your case." Mr. Piper hurried home. Now the question was how to get his animals to the farm. And what farm? He didn't even know where he was going. "I ought to have an automobile," he thought. "I'll see if I can buy an old car." He went to the bank and took out the money he had saved. Then he went to a place where old automobiles were sold. He looked at all the cars in the lot. Some were too big, some were too small, some were too expensive. At last, far back in the corner of the lot, he saw an old green bus. It was small and battered and rusty, but Mr. Piper liked it. "A bus is what I need," he thought. "I am a bus driver, after all. This will be just right, if it does not cost too much and if it runs." The price was low, so Mr. Piper drove the bus around the block a few times, poked at it, and looked under the hood. "I'll take it," he said. All right. All Mr. Piper's neighbors were surprised to see an old green bus parked in front of the house. But he didn't notice. He ran up the stairs as fast as he could go. "We're going away," he told his animals. "Meow," said Mrs. Cat. "Yes, you and all your kittens," said Mr. Piper. "Now don't worry, I'll take care of everything. You just get your children ready." Of course, the animals really had nothing to get ready. Mr. Piper put his clothes into a bag. Then he thought, I wonder where we will sleep if I don't find a place the first day. They won't let me into a hotel with all these animals. I'll take my blankets and pillows. I can sleep in the bus." Then he looked around my room. "I'll take my folding table and chair. I may want to sit out under a tree somewhere." He carried the things down to the bus. Then he thought, "I may as well take my dishes and my pots and pans. I might want to do my own cooking." He wondered whether to take his television set. "I won't take that," he decided. "There's no place to connect it anyway, and I'll be too busy to watch it." He picked up his bus driver's cap and put it on his head. "I'm still a bus driver," he thought, looking down in his green uniform. He carried little Mac and the kittens down to the bus. Buster and Mrs. Cat followed. Mr. Piper sat down behind the steering wheel. He was just about to drive off when his landlady came running out. "Where are you going?" she demanded. "I'm going to find a home for my animals," Mr. Piper told her. "Well, don't forget to come back," she said. "I'll be glad to have you without your animals." "I'll see about it," said Mr. Piper. "Woof, woof," said Buster. "Cock-a-doodle-doo," crowed little Mac. "Meow," said Mrs. Cat. "Meow, meow, meow," cried the kittens, crawling about in their box. And off they went. That was Chapter 2.